Do you devalue or diminish the importance of tears? Is crying difficult for you? Do you have trouble when someone else is weeping in front of you? Does it tug at your heart and you really can't deal with it very well? Tears are an awkward situation for many people, but are they particularly difficult for you? In the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thy rod and staff comfort me. You set a table for me in the presence of all of my enemies. My cup runneth over. In this valley of tears, the foothills to awakening are not really that far off. When our perceptions are dark and we seem to have no hope, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm Dr. Joseph. Thank you for joining us for the third episode in our series on the gift of tears. This episode focuses on poetry from various traditions. Our previous episodes offered an introduction, the skills that you need to deal with tears and to understand the tradition of the gift of tears. The second episode explored this further and looked at deep spiritual and cultural traditions and teachings. Our first reading is by Cahill Gibran from Laughter and Tears. I looked upon slumbering nature, and with deep reflection discovered the reality of a vast and infinite thing. It is something that gathers strength with patience, grows despite obstacles, warms in winter, flourishes in spring, casts a breeze in summer, and bears fruit in autumn. I found love. From our book, Western Desert. Cast ironed tears. Toss, turn, and no song rises, but fearsome. Teardrops not shed. Cast iron image, head emerging, pushing, pulling, out of lake into fire. Masculine, filling convoluted texture. One eye, two seeing, not stopping, hardly starting, not willing to fall into thunder. Inward heavens, sadness committed, rage on bed of nails, resting, rising into cold air, now chilled and from. Men of madness, the thunder under all is weeping, languid melody sweeping, reeds undifferentiated, within one lens one stick of incense burning to the edge of infinity. A languid dirge of drums beating amid fires, one heartfelt dance of lovers sucking up playful life, men on the edge of the masculine, one huge maze of dancers looking, peering, seers, connectedness burning away lies, specialization no more, celebrity gifts, love between men, ebbing, gliding upward, burning fires, swirls. Oh, you shadows that I come from, I love you more than all fences that do control the world, for dwelling with you, I am enfolded by your primal sympathy, Do tell, sway, drink deeply still. Embrace your shadows. They are never as fearsome as when you first fell into their pool. O dark pool, between two strange beginners, I love you more than the miles of pavement that breeds immortality and immobility. For willing to drown in your warmth, I am imploding within your constant shedding. Do tell, sway, drink deeply still. What is friendship but a sanctuary for deepermost telling in dark night and discomforting wonder? William Wordsworth. And O ye fountains, meadows, hills, and groves, forebode not any severing of our loves, yet in my heart of hearts I feel your might. I only have relinquished one delight, to live beneath your more habitual sway. I love the brooks which down their channels fret, even more than when I tripped lightly as they. The innocent brightness of a newborn day is lovely yet. The clouds that gather round the setting sun do take a sober coloring from an eye that hath kept watch o'er man's mortality. Another race hath been, and other palms are won. Thanks to the human heart by which we live. Thanks to its tenderness, its joys and fears. To me, the meanest flower that blows can give thoughts that do often lie too deep for tears. Our next sojourn is from a beautiful little book that was written in the 14th century called the Fiorietti, the Little Flowers of St. Francis. It's a beautiful poetic collection of stories of Francis of Assisi and his life. From this particular story, Francis is depicted in the early days of his journey in the world. And he has a beautiful companion that stayed with him named Brother Leo. Francis and Leo had many adventures together, did many things together, and had a very intense and special friendship. They shared many tears and many joys. The book reads like a children's storybook that you can read quite delightfully at night before you go to bed. The stories are antidotes for a troubled spirit and can bring a sense of peace. Once in the very early days, at the beginning of the order of the Friars Minor, St. Francis of Assisi found himself with Brother Leo. They were in a place of retreat, as they often were. Francis retreated to the mountains and caves. He went off to the lonely places in imitation of the Lord. In this particular time, he was with Brother Leo, and they had no books for praying the divine office, the hours, the sacred hours of the church. When the hour of matins came, St. Francis said to Brother Leo, "Most dear companion, we have no prayer books with us with which that we can say our hours. So that we may spend this time in the praise of God, I'll ask you, please, to speak as I instruct you. I shall speak and you shall answer as I will teach you. See to it that you do not change the words in any way other than what I shall teach you to say. I will say it this way. O Friar Francis, you have done so many evils and so many sins in this world, and you are worthy of hell. Francis was accusing himself. In this way, he was trying to make his heart and mind humble before God, to bring to mind the sorrows that arise when we break our vows and when we go astray and do not live up to our best possibility. And he said to Brother Leo, "It is true. You shall answer, 'It is true.' And you will say, 'Yes, you deserve this lowest place in hell.'" Brother Leo, with a dove-like simplicity and a beautiful tender heart of compassion, said to his loving Father Francis, "Willingly, Father, begin, I will obey in the name of God." Then Francis began to say, "Friar Francis, you have done so many evils and so many sins in the world that you are worthy of hell." And Brother Leo answered, "God shall do so much good through you that as a result, you will go straight to paradise." St. Francis was so surprised. He said, "That isn't what you should say, Brother Leo. But when I say, 'Friar Francis, you have done so many wicked things against God that you are worthy to be accused from God,' answer thus, my brother, 'Truly you are worthy to be sent among the accursed.'" And Brother Leo answered again, "Willingly, Father, willingly." Then St. Francis, with many tears and sighs and beating of his breast, said with a loud voice, "O my Lord of heaven and earth, I have committed so many wicked deeds and so many sins against you that I am altogether worthy to be accursed from you." And he heard Brother Leo answer, "Oh, dear Friar Francis, God will make you so that among the blessed you shall be singularly blessed." Now St. Francis, marveling that Brother Leo answered so contrary to what he had bidden him, he rebuked him, saying, "Why? Why do you not answer as I teach you? I will speak thus. Oh, Friar Francis, miserable sinner, think that God would have mercy upon you, seeing that you have committed so many sins against the Father of mercy. And you, Friar Leo, little sheep, you should answer, 'In no way are you worthy to find mercy.'" But afterward, when Francis said the words again, "Oh, miserable sinner," so on and so forth, Friar Leo answered, as if compelled from some inner force, "God the Father, whose mercy is infinite, greater than your sin, will show you such great mercy, and beyond that, will give you so much grace." At this reply, Blessed Francis, who was sweetly angered and yet patiently upset, said to his brother Leo, "Leo the little lion, and how is it that you have had this presumption to act against your vow of obedience? And how is it that you have already so many times replied contrary to my instructions and what I have commanded you to do?" Friar Leo answered very humbly and reverently, "God knows, my father, that each time I completely resolved in my heart to answer as you have bidden me to do. But God makes me speak as pleases him, and not according to what pleases me." At this, St. Francis marveled and suddenly realized that Leo had been compelled inwardly by a spiritual power. "I beseech you," he said, "you very lovingly have given your time and your answer to me as I have told you." Brother Leo answered, "Speak in the name of God, because you can be sure that this time I truly will, yes, I will answer as you would have me to do." And St. Francis weeping said, "Oh, Friar Francis, miserable sinner, think that you would be loved by God, that you would have mercy." Friar Leo answered, "Yea, and not only so, but great grace and mercy shall you receive from God, and he shall exalt you, and will glorify you forever among the saints, because whoever humbles himself will be exalted. And I cannot speak otherwise, in that God speaks through my mouth." And in this way, that humble strife, with many tears, the two together rejoiced in spiritual consolation, and they kept watch together in silence through the dark of the night. They kept watch until daybreak, and at the sun's rise, they were still together in prayer. From Lord Alfred Tennyson. Tears, idle tears, I know not what they mean. Tears from the depth of some divine despair rise in the heart and gather to the eyes in looking on the happy autumn fields and thinking of the days that are no more. Fresh as the first beam glittering on a sail that brings our friends up from the underworld, sad as the last which reddens over one that sinks with all we love below the verge. So sad, so fresh, the days that are no more. Ah, sad and strange as in dark summer dawns the earliest pipe of half-awakened birds, to dying ears, when unto dying eyes the casement slowly grows a glimmering square. So sad, so strange, the days that are no more. Dear as remembered kisses after death, and sweet as those by hopeless fancy feigned, on lips that are for others deep as love, deep as first love, and wild with all regret. O death in life, the days that are no more. Please like and subscribe and share with the people that you love in your life. If you've enjoyed this or our other videos, please share them forward. We so appreciate your effort. We just wish you all the best.